Hey everybody, it's Jayne and my dear neighbor Clare.
Hi.
I won the lottery with Clare moving in a couple years ago, and she is an amazing baker.
Thank you.
She's really kicked it up a notch for me. So when it was rhubarb season, she was pumped, and then I've had so many requests for people saying, what do we do with rhubarb? So today we are going to make a strawberry rhubarb crumble, which is perfect.
That's right.
And we also have some stewed rhubarb, and we'll just talk a little bit more about what else you can do with rhubarb, because you don't always have to add sugar, but we will today. This is rhubarb. A lot of people haven't seen rhubarb with the leaves on it still. It is just a really beautiful plant. This is still early for rhubarb. It's like only the first week of May. And so these actually get much, much bigger here at our farm. I don't notice a flavor difference if it's a thin stalk or a thick stalk or short or tall.
I don't think there is any difference.
Yeah, the texture is always very similar. It's a super versatile plant that you can just chop up and freeze really simply. It lasts a long time. I'm still using up a little bit of rhubarb we froze from last year, which I always try to use up everything from the year before the new crop is ready. Yeah, so today we'll show you how we just chop this up, make a delicious rhubarb crumble. So I chopped the rhubarb preemptively into little, it says 1-inch pieces. The beautiful thing about crumbles is that you don't have to be exact. Baking usually is exact, but
yeah, I was just saying earlier that I find it really hard to stick to the recipe. So,
love that.
You know, crumble is a really good thing to make for just like improvising and adding what you've got.
I'm pumped today because we're getting to use the last of my strawberries from last season, and strawberries are coming in June, so that's always, you know, good to get to do that. Yeah, they froze really well.
I just want to mention as well about the rhubarb is that if you're looking for it in the supermarket, you're probably not going to see it with the leaves on.
Yeah.
Right? So it's usually just loose sticks without the leaves on, just like this. Yeah, sometimes you have to ask somebody because it can be hard to find. Well, in my supermarket it is.
Yeah, and I just saw it at the supermarket, it was $7.99 a pound. Oof. So this is the time when I recommend actually going to the farmer's market for it. And also one thing to know, rhubarb leaves are actually poisonous. So don't eat the rhubarb leaves.
Yeah,
if
don't
your rhubarb
chop them
comes
up
without
in the
it.
salads.
Yeah. But they are beautiful, add that to your compost. So I'm gonna make the topping for this. We're using a recipe from Smitten Kitchen, which is one of your faves.
I really like her, Deb. She's got a great website and Instagram account, and yeah, I've tried a bunch of her recipes, and they're really good. So this is the Smitten Kitchen strawberry rhubarb crumble.
Yeah.
Or a crisp, as you call it here in the States, right? Well, we call it in the UK a crumble.
So I just put 1.5 cups chopped rhubarb in here. And again, I've kind of just loosely chopped that. It chops a lot like celery. And then I have 1 quart of strawberries. So I'm just gonna mix those together. Yeah. And then it says a juice of 1 lemon. I'm actually not gonna do that. I find like the rhubarb has a similar tart flavor. And then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of sugar. And 3 to 4 tablespoons of cornstarch, just to kind of thicken it up, especially because the strawberries were frozen, so they're going to be a little more
there'll be a lot of liquid there, so that'll thicken it up.
Yep.
I'm going to make the filling, and we need 1 1/3 cup of flour. So I'm just going to eyeball it here because I haven't got 1/3 of a cup. And then we need a teaspoon. Do you have a teaspoon of baking powder? Here. And then 2 kinds of sugar in this recipe. Actually, in our version of this recipe.
True.
Because I said to Jayne this morning that I like to use coconut sugar when I cook these days because it seems to be a little healthier and not as sweet. 6 tablespoons altogether, so I'm going to do 3 of granulated sugar, or you could use turbinado sugar, and 3 of the coconut. So
the coconut sugar just also has like that rich coconutty hint of coconut flavor that I really like.
I'm just going to give that a quick stir, and then you need 1/4 pound or 1 stick of melted butter, which here's some I prepared earlier. Just pour that in, and I'm just going to mix these together till I see some clumpiness.
There was a note too that if you weren't going to do this right away, you could refrigerate this, put it on later, make it earlier.
Yes, yeah. Keep this in the fridge until you're ready.
Yeah.
Now you just want to take this with your hands and just drop it into the bowl of fruit. So my hands are clean.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go like this and sprinkle it over.
I like too that it's like a little more golden color using that coconut and the turbinado sugar.
Now, My mother would actually sprinkle sugar over the top of this.
Gives it a little shine,
for the crunch, like turbinado, little crunch over there. But since we're kind of trying to get into our swimsuits this year, we're not going to add more sugar.
We'll just get bigger swimsuits. All right, I'm gonna pop it in the oven. It's about 40 minutes, it's saying. So I'll pop it in here. It's at 375. Hi everybody, our strawberry rhubarb crumble is ready. We're gonna cut into it. It looks really good.
It smells incredible, guys. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
All right, and then so the other thing we have here, before we try this, we have a little bit of plain yogurt, and this is stewed rhubarb. This is just simply rhubarb that we chop up and put in a pan with a little tiny bit of water and let it stew for 15 minutes.
No sugar?
This has no sugar, but we can add maple syrup. That's usually what I add to taste.
Nice.
And then I put this pretty much every morning on yogurt or oatmeal.
Okay, put some on there for me.
Okay. And it's a nice, it actually looks kind of gray in here, but when you put it on here, it's got this nice pinkish tinge, a little bit of green. I call it the ombre.
I'm going in.
Okay, she's doing it. It's gonna be tart, because it's plain yogurt and
Oh my God. I love that. I love the tartness.
It's
so
very
creamy.
unique. I can't think of any other fruit or vegetable that has a tartness like that. It's different than a citrus tart.
But it's lovely with the creaminess of the yogurt. It's like yin and yang.
Yum.
Yum, very nice. So this is the crumble, the Smitten Kitchen recipe. Perfectly topped. I mean, it's biscuity. Lovely.
So good.
Very nice. I'm gonna keep going actually.
Last night I did have a rhubarb martini. Also recommend that. You can make a simple syrup with the rhubarb. There's so much to do with the rhubarb. I also like to chop up the rhubarb, throw it in my Instapot with rice. It adds a nice, instead of adding lemon to your rice, it adds a nice tart flavor. Yep, and it just kind of melds into the rice there. So much to do with it. Get your rhubarb on. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Claire, for being here.
Thank you, Jayne. Delicious. Thank you.